Hey everybody, Dominic Esposito, your drill instructor. Welcome to the clinic. I've not been with you guys for weeks, and I really appreciate you being patient with me, getting over asthma, bronchitis, and so much more. But I am in the middle of a big 2-day session, and but I just wanted to cut in right now. I did lose track of time, and I'm going to go ahead and try to share a couple of things with you. Now, I do notice that I didn't put on my studio mic, so maybe it's going to sound a little bit echoey, and I apologize because otherwise I'd have to cut the whole thing right now. What I would like to do is share what's going on the table right now and what I've been working on with my really good friend and a great player. He's here with me, but he's a little shy. He doesn't want to let you know who he is yet because he's really famous. Okay, so the deal is we're talking about how to learn the compensation of deflection on your cue shaft. Anybody interested? Yeah, quick, jump online, call your friends. So every cue stick has a compensation factor. This is a carbon fiber shaft made by Defy, Defy, however you say that, you guys know it. It's 12 millimeter. And I've already tested this shaft. But here's what you people need to do. Take a ball, put it right down at the direct dead center of the line, and then you're going to come up to the top of the table and just bring the cue ball out a half a diamond, and you're going to aim exactly at the center of this ball. But you're going to aim with 2 tips of English, and you need to use a specific applicator, and I'll tell you an application. Here it is. So as I'm looking at dead center, I am now going to parallel shift to 2 tips and then point to the center of that cue ball. So I'm at 2 tips of English and I'm pointing at the direct center of that, and from here, this particular shaft has a full half ball. Watch, you'll see it. Boom. So I missed that by a half a ball. I'll test the other side. 2 tips pointing directly at the center of the object ball. It's a half on that side. So some of you might have a quarter ball. Some of you might have an eighth ball. The point is, the way I created this many years ago, if you've got a ball on the rail, you guys can see this, ladies can see this, if you can touch anywhere on that ball, touching to that ball, that is what I developed many years ago. That justifies what is low deflection. But I've told you all before, low deflection many, many years ago was just an idea that that group came up with. And you know, I sponsored and endorsed them for 9 years. And we just had to try to figure out a way to make the story make sense. So what makes sense? Because all right, I'll say it. The whole concept of low deflection is a bunch of buzzwords. It's a buzzwords to make you think you got something and you'll spend your money on something better than what you could have spent it on, okay? And that's not necessary. So what I want you to do is recognize whether you're playing with a house cue or you're playing with one of my shafts, which is zero deflection performance tapering. And what does that mean? You guys already, ladies, already know what that means. If you shoot the ball, you apply English, you shoot, the ball goes straight. You don't have to calculate a compensation of deflection. You don't. It does it already. But that's my shaft. All the other shafts, you got to figure it out. Now this shaft is half ball. That's all there is to it. If I do the exact same shot with my shaft, it's going to hit the ball and bounce right back to me because it'll hit the center. So anything inside of here touching will be legitimately what we'll all believe means low deflection. But if those balls are outside of that any amount of distance, it's not low deflection. Now, that's for the sake of having something make sense. So at a half a ball, so the distance between there, that's a full half of a ball. I can see it. So this has that. So when I'm going to learn to compensate for deflection on this shaft, as long as I know my stroke is perfectly straight, which only unless you have an XT shaft can you totally prove that, because you know my XT shaft with the stainless steel, okay, there's a super high deflection. So if I put just 2 tips of English on this and shoot at the one ball, I'm not even going to hit the ball. That's how high the deflection is. But when you can take this cue and actually see perfect dead center, and you're not screwing around with it, you should be able to make a ball. And it's a full 14-inch pro taper, 12.7 millimeter, 12.8. It's just perfect, okay? But if you can't make a ball with this because you don't know how to see perfect center ball, and 9 out of 10 players can't see perfect center ball, and that's normal because you had a tip, tilted, turn. You see how I'm looking at you? Aren't I normal? Say, I'm talking to you, and I'm saying, hey, everybody, how are you? So how's everybody today? Is everybody good? You're doing fine? Is everybody happy? So you'd be kind of weird. That's our whole conversation. I look at you, so why not address the cue ball the same way? Come on, let's do it. So what will happen is we'll pull up the ball and change sticks right here. Now, if your stroke is a little crooked, your crooked makes it right. But then when you go to the other side, it isn't right. You go, why? Well, you're already not actually at center, but only one side's going to work when you do that. So you might as well pick the side. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to then aim at the center of this ball. Then I'm going to split the center and the edge in the middle. I'm going to split the middle of that because that would be half a ball. Now, the part you have to understand is this. I'm a half a ball for the length of the table, which means for half the table, it becomes half of that, which makes it quarter. So, and half of that would be even then an eighth, or longer than that, okay, at your max table, I know I'm at a half. And a half is easy to work with. So technically I see center. Now if I was going to shoot this 5 ball here to here, that's the full length of the table. So I would technically aim, there's dead center, there's the left edge of the ball, and then I'm going to aim at half between the center and the edge. Now I'm going to be in the middle of that, because at full table, that gives me a full half a ball. But if I start to shorten the shot up, and I bring the object ball here and the cue ball here, well, I don't have all that, and I don't have all that. It's only a half table shot. So now I only need to be at a quarter ball to make the same adjustment. So here I am. I'm going to do this at a half a table, so you can see I'm not crazy. Watch my adjustments. Now I'm going to be extreme. Ready? Now I'm going to move. Move. See, watch again. Move. Now what I did was I went from center ball to not half of center to the edge, but between the half and the center, that quarter. That's what I'm aiming at, because I have to compensate for this deflection. Now, I get down on the ball, aim dead center. I see it's a half table, so I adjust my distance from half to quarter. From center, I make a quarter move. Now watch this. Now I can apply 3 tips of English. 3 tips of English. And I expect that ball's going to go straight in, because I compensated the deflection correctly. Now, for those of you who understand what I'm saying, God bless you. And for those of you who don't, re-listen to it, because I covered everything. What you need to remember is, if you're, let me use this ball here, gang. Aren't you glad I'm feeling better? Yeah, almost. I'm about 80% really. So, here's what I was doing to this person. I was doing so that would be their center, and then that would be half of, which normally if I said, oh, make a quarter ball hit, that's the quarter ball hit. So I'm at the quarter ball mark, and at a full length of the table, I would aim there at dead center, and then apply my English. Half a table, I'll go to half that distance, then apply my 2 tips of English. Or if it's only 2 diamonds away, which is a quarter of the table, move it into a quarter. Or if I'm at 6 diamonds away, then go ahead and move it to 3/4. So that is quarter, half, 3/4, whole. That is what I'm aiming at. Then I'm applying, and that's 2 tips of English. Now, why 2? Well, because 1 and 3, 2's in the middle. Here's the good news. If you're going to apply 1 tip of English, then you're going to split that in half. And if you're going to apply 3 tips, you're going to add the extra quarter piece, or the quarter of the quarter. So, for example, at center, I'm going to hit 2 tips of English. But if I'm going to use 1 tip of English, I'm going to move it back to half of that. That's my center aiming point. Then from that center aiming point, I apply my 1 tip of English. And then I do like what I just showed you I do. The ball's going to go straight. Now, of course, those of you, I don't want you to get crazy yet. You remember when Harold Prime, okay, but Harold's passed away, and there's that. And I was actually shooting this shot with, oh my goodness, this is one of my prototypes of the new. I didn't realize it. I thought this was an Optimus, and I was going to say this is still an Optimus, but that's right, it really feels good. We changed the interior of the guts, okay, but this is a prototype of the new Patriot. That's what we're calling it, the Patriot. It's no longer called the Optimus. It's not online. It's not public yet. Okay, it's coming. We're just refining a few things, and then we're going to release it with a pre-release with a stupid discount price. But that's why my shaft, I don't have to make any compensation adjustment. When I aim at center and I apply 3 tips of English, my cue ball's coming right back to center. Your shaft doesn't do that. Then you measure the full length, see how much from the edge of the ball are you out. Are you half a ball, 3/4 of a ball, a quarter ball, a third ball, 2/3 of a ball, or a full ball? You could be as much as up to 2 balls. If I took a house cue, like one of those, a standard house cue, that's 2 full balls. That means I'm like, my cue ball, when I hit that rail, is like hitting there. That would be 1 ball, 2 balls. Now you've got some serious calculating to do. But that is how to calculate compensation and deflection on your shaft. You're welcome to call me if you got some questions, but go do the hard work first. And then we'll see what you're doing. Now, if you'd like to just completely eliminate that idea altogether and you just don't even have to think about it, you just want to pivot, point, shoot, and the cue ball's going to go straight, well, then you're going to want to get a new Patriot when they come out and just start saving your money. I can tell you right now, MSRP is going to be in the stupid range like all the other stupid ones are, but I guarantee you when it comes down to what you're going to get it for, it's going to be what it really needs to be for. It's going to be in a 3-something number, give or take. And if I can even get it to less, we're going to. But the point is, carbon fiber shafts today are just way too overpriced, and that's just completely stupid, and I'm telling you that first live because that's the truth. So none of them need to be like that. This equipment does not have to be that expensive, and it doesn't have to be that unfair. So I'm going to make sure you remind me of that if you want to, but your prices are going to be amazing. Okay, I love you. Listen, that's it. So aim straight, shoot straight, split the pockets, and I'll see you guys around. God bless you. Bye-bye. I love you.